Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. I bet you money that if you bought a PTO powered implement, you might have read the owner's manual on the implement, but I bet there's an owner's manual you missed. And we're going to talk about the little owner's manual on the PTO shaft. It's kind of a Tractor Mike bugaboo, kind of a deal that bothers me. It's crazy. I'll show you. You've seen them. You probably don't know you've seen them. I worked at a farm equipment dealership for 11 years, and I was constantly observing cutters and tillers are made by one company and they put a different PTO shaft on. They buy them from somebody else. And most of the PTO shafts are made by other companies. They make millions of them, put them on all different brands of machines. So the manufacturer will have a owner's manual for their machine, and sometimes it's kept in a little pouch on the machine. And the PTO manufacturer puts his own little owner's manual on there. Well, you think that PTO shaft is kind of one of the more dangerous things on the equipment. So that little owner's manual on that PTO shaft would be nice and easy to read, and it would be a high priority for the salesman to give it to you when you buy the implement. And that's not the case. Most of these end up on the ground at the dealership. The customer never sees them. And if he doesn't see them, they're so waterlogged he can't read them. And why is that? That's because the manufacturers of the PTO tubes zip tie them in a baggie on the PTO shaft. And they get rainwater. They accrue moisture. At least in my area they do. May not if you live in the desert. But here, every one of these stupid manuals gets sopping wet. So when it's time to prep the brush hog or the tiller or the post hole digger, a lot of times the service rep will go out on the lot, just take a couple of clippers and clip those zip ties, and the owner's manual for the PTO shaft falls to the ground. I actually was able to find 3 of them just walking around the old dealership I used to work at, and that's not really the dealer's fault. The 3 that I found were almost totally unreadable because of all the moisture. So I'm telling you, you PTO manufacturers, if you're taking it seriously, give us a manual that we can read that's not out in the weather getting wet, or do away with it. Makes no sense. Well, I don't get it. Okay, so I did something that I've never done. I've been in the business 25 plus years. I've never read one of these little manuals. But I brought this one manual home from the ground at the dealership and let it dry out. It's for Bondioli and Permissible, however you say that. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to read one of these for the first time. We're going to see if these manuals are important. And it starts out, this is made in Italy. These Bondioli PTO shafts are. And this is kind of ruined by the water. I can see it says use the implement only with the original drive line. Implement connection shield must be compatible with drive line. In the application, I could barely read it. It says that the shield is damaged due to interference with parts. Can't read it. Consult with your local implement dealer. And then that same thing is in 26 different languages. I counted them. It's in Russian. It's in Japanese. I don't know what most of these languages are. But that's first thing. If something's damaged, fix it. All right, number 2. Ensure that the drive line and the shaft cone, and the shaft cone is that big cone that sits over the back of the PTO shaft. Ensure that the drive line and the shaft cone are securely attached to the implement before operating. The head of the bolts and washers must bear against the flat portion of the base of the cone. So you want your cone on there and tightened. Okay, I get that. All right, here's some important stuff. Ensure that all driveline, tractor, and implement shielding are functional and in place before operation. Damaged or missing parts must be replaced with original spare parts correctly installed. Oh, good wisdom there. All right, that's all that's on this page. Go to page 2. Disengage the PTO, turn off the tractor engine, and remove the key before approaching the implement or performing maintenance work. Close the shaft cone windows before operating the implement. If you've ever noticed on one of those shaft cones, they have doors on the side of them where you can get your grease gun in. You want to make sure those are closed before operating your implement. All right, here we go. More wisdom. Do not use the shaft cone as a step, which would kind of be common sense because it's made out of plastic and it would make you fall down. Now here's some really important information. Permissible operating temperatures are from minus 30 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade, or from minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I swear I am not making this up. If it's 210 degrees outside, maybe 211, it's okay to brush hog. Gets up to 212, it's time to quit. Great wisdom. If the shaft cone is damaged by overheating, consult the implement dealer or manufacturer. All right, I get that. And here we go, declaration of conformity. The manufacturer and holder of the technical file Bondioli and Pavesi SPA, P.O. Box 30C in Italy, hereby declares, actually it's complies with the Machinery Directive 2006-42 EC. I'm curious, in the comments down below, if you got delivered a brush hog or a postal digger or tiller or some PTO powered implement, did you get the little manual that went on the PTO shaft, and did you read it? I bet you none of you did, but if you did, take my hat off to you and show my coronavirus hair. Appreciate you watching my videos. You like to subscribe, click the mic face icon and check the bell so you're notified when I post future videos. Here's my website with a tractor fun store with some really cool items for your tractor that help support my channel. Here's another video you might want to watch. Thanks for watching.